Good evening and welcome to On Deck. On Deck is a women's sports show for women by women. To introduce myself, my name is Kate Salmida. I am a sophomore here at SUNY Oswego and I am so excited for the first ever episode of On Deck to air tonight right here on WTOP 10. To tell you a little bit about myself, my dream job is to work for the best team in baseball, the New York Yankees. But that's enough about me. Tonight we have a really awesome episode on deck. I am joined today by not just one, but two really awesome women. Our first guest on deck tonight is the original productions director right here at WTOP, Jill Plant. Jill has spent her summer working in sports broadcasting, and she is here to share all about what she's been doing with us over the summer today. I'm also joined by the wonderful Sarah Kamide on tonight's episode. Sarah is a sophomore superstar goalie on the SUNY Oswego women's lacrosse team. And Sarah's here to tell us all about what it's like being a student athlete and to share some of her favorite lacrosse stories with us. It's going to be a really great episode here tonight on deck, right here. And stay tuned. We will be right back after this short break.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
Our son Arjun was born with cystic fibrosis. CF is a genetic disease that shortens lives. When the foundation was founded in 1955, children with CF rarely live long enough to attend kindergarten. Today, thanks to the foundation's groundbreaking research, advocacy, and care, some people with CF are attending college, getting married, and starting families. We've made amazing progress, but until a cure is found for all people with CF, we will not stop. Help us add tomorrows. Visit cff.org today.
Is there a danger hiding in your home? Unused opioid medicines could harm your family. Find your unused opioid pills, patches, or syrups and learn how to dispose of them safely at fda.gov/drug disposal.
Welcome back to On Deck. Jill, thank you so much for joining me on deck tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to our On Deck viewers.
All right, so I'm Jill Plant. I am the original productions director here at WTOP 10. I'm just, a girl who likes to have fun, I guess. I mean, I do a lot of the live sports here too. I wasn't really one of my, things I was really into, but I became really into it. And over the summer, I did a lot of stuff with ESPN, and that started to trickle into fall, which is hurting my school grades. But I'm a senior here. I'm a broadcasting and mass communications major. I'm graduating early. I'm done in December, so I got approximately 68 days left. Bye. So yeah, I'm just really trying to make the most out of my time here at Oswego. I've only been here a year. I transferred in last fall, and I'm leaving this fall. So really, I've only been here for a year. So,
Jill, you will be missed. You will be deeply missed here at WTOP, but you've had so much experience working behind the scenes. I've seen just through your LinkedIn and your social medias, all the amazing things you've been doing and all the different sporting events you've been working at. So what has that been like?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, how I first got into it was I didn't get an internship over the summer, and I was like kind of bummed out because I was like, you know, I don't know what to do, but I want to get experience somehow. So I just, you know, got on Facebook, got on online, and started looking around for the next opportunity I could, you know, next best thing. So next best thing was, I guess, working professionally. So I was able to get on a TED Talk, and then that started to go into live sporting events. So I started off doing stuff at ESPN for WNBA back home in Connecticut, where I'm from. And then we did that. I did that at Mohegan Sun Arena, where I was a utility, just coiling cable behind a camera person, setting up everything. That picture is really cool. We'll go back to that picture eventually. There's a story behind that picture.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, just working with them, it's really given me like a new thing I want to do in life, and you know, another thing I want to pursue other than just like news, which can be boring and depressing.
Yeah. So obviously, like, we've seen you worked at Mohegan Sun. We saw some videos on like the football field, a bunch of all these different sports. But out of all the sports you've been working on, what has been your favorite sport to work on so far?
I love basketball. I love basketball so much. I like WNBA. I really like college basketball, like women's college basketball. I'm a big UConn Huskies fan. I really don't follow the NBA, but I want to start following an NBA. So if anybody has a team that I should like,
New York
please
Knicks.
pitch me.
New York Knicks.
Okay, but why?
Because it's the New York Knicks.
Okay, well that's so yeah, come and pitch me. I will, you know, determine which team I would like to do. Then football just kind of came because it was the next thing, like the next sport after WNBA season ends. So I'm just starting to do football. It's not as fun. I mean, it's a lot more running and being outside in the cold, where basketball, I'm inside. But yeah.
Yeah, and you did Monday Night Football a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I did Monday Night Football. I was utility with a few other people from Oswego, but that is not the Monday Night Football picture, but that's okay. I don't think I sent it. That's just Syracuse. That's just Syracuse. But yeah, I did the Monday Night Football game with the Bills versus the Titans. It was week 1 or week 2 at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. I was on the field. I was running in the cold. It was cool. It was a lot of fun. But it was not.
That is so cool. It sounds like you've been having so much fun so far, and you've learned so much from everything that you've been doing, from baseball to football to, you know, starting from the bottom and like working all the way up and all this cool stuff. But did you ever really have like an interest in ever working in sports, or were you just kind of going towards news, and then what happened there?
I never thought I would end up in sports. The closest thing I thought I would be like sporting wise would be like WWE, because I was like a big WWE fan when I was a kid. But I mean, I don't, but yeah.
What has it been like to like, you know, start at WTOP and then like work and go into like a professional sports?
Yeah, so I mean, WTOP was good at getting me in the door of like just how it works behind the scenes, but obviously it's a lot different from like WTOP to ESPN, but the fundamentals are the same. And going back to the news thing, I really thought I was going to be going into news or doing something like that, but live sports, you can't beat that, because that's truly the one thing that you can't script. And it's so much fun to like never know what's coming next.
That's really like interesting to hear, and I like your perspective on how like live sports is the only thing you can't script. But I think it's really important to ask, you know, as we were talking about earlier, you've done so many different sports. What has been your like favorite event out of all of them? What has been your favorite event that you've been able to like work on?
So I wouldn't really call it an event, but when in June I did 5 games with WNBA.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So one of them, this was like in the heat of Brittany Griner and all of her, you know, the stuff going on with her. So I was crewed for a game. I think it was the Phoenix Mercury. I'm pretty sure that's the team that she was on, and I was working with Connecticut Sun because the Mercury were coming to Connecticut to play, and then as we were setting up in the locker rooms, we hear news that Brittany Griner has been sentenced to 9 years in Russian prison. Her team was there with us, and they were not happy. They were like mad. Some of them were upset. They were crying, and my producer came up to us and was like, "We don't know if we're playing today." Mm-hmm. I mean, they ended up playing because it was an elimination. It was starting to get closer to the playoffs, and we were eliminating teams at this point, so they kind of had to play. But they didn't want to play. They said in the press conference after the game, we didn't want to play today, but we had to. Mm-hmm. So there's one picture I sent over. That's the picture. They did a unity circle. If you look on the screen on your right side of the screen, you'll see me, like, there's a little white thing on my back. My hair is in a bun. I'm in all black behind one of the camera guys. That's where I am. And I'm just on the court while her team members and everyone in the stadium is standing up, and like we're all sharing that experience of like her, like here the announcement of her sentencing, and it was really, really intense. It was a really intense moment.
Well, Jill, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us and all the amazing things you've accomplished. It's honestly, I'm like kind of fangirling over here. I can't believe I'm sitting next to a celebrity.
No.
Jill is also on the amazing all-women show, which is all-women crew, all-women cast, talent and everything, Off the Clock, which is on Thursday nights on WTOP. So make sure you head on over and check out Jill on Thursday. But thank you so much again. Coming up, I will be joined by Sarah Kamide, who is here to share her experience being a student athlete. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on deck after this short break.
Driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like that trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to On Deck. I am now joined by the one, the only, Sarah Kamide. Sarah, welcome to On Deck. Thank you for joining us today. Would you tell our On Deck viewers a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you so much for having me, Kate. I'm so excited to be here. So different from us just talking in our suite.
I know, sweet mates.
So I'm Sarah Kamide. I'm the women's lacrosse goalie. I'm a marketing major. I'm currently a sophomore here. and I'm a marketing major and I'm minoring in sales. So I would like to go somewhere in like the business world of marketing, something like with sales, preferably. But I'm also like toying with law school. I don't know about that yet. So
fancy.
I have some options. I'm from a small town just north of Oswego. It's called Watertown, New York. A lot of people probably haven't heard about it. It's so far up north. Most people think you can't get farther north than here, but you can. So yeah, I chose Oswego because it's close to home, but it's just far away enough, so it's just like perfect little school for me.
Yeah. So Sarah, I know how busy you are living with you. I see you are constantly on the move. So how do you balance being a student but also being an athlete and making sure you have the time and find that balance?
Well, like you said, it's just trying to find the balance, and I've been playing sports my whole life. So throughout high school, especially being like through sport athlete in high school, I've found that you need just time management. Like my planner goes everywhere with me. I plan out my days. You got to make sure you have. Everyone talks about a work-life balance, but it's like a work-life sports balance if you're a student athlete in college. So you need to find time to like be with your friends, take time for yourself, like actually eat like 3 meals a day, and then go play your sport for 3 hours a day, and then do your like 3 hours of homework.
Did you ever play any other sports than lacrosse, or has lacrosse always been your go-to? So
I played soccer pretty much since I was like kindergarten through like freshman year of high school, and pretty much basketball my whole life. And my dad was my coach, so I always thought like basketball was gonna be my thing. But then I started playing lacrosse, and I was like, I don't know, this one might be a little better. So
I'm learning new things about you, and I live with you. So when did you start playing lacrosse? Because obviously to play in college, you've had to play lacrosse for a long time, and I know you've been saying you've been playing since you were little, but what has it been like playing through like the different phases of your life?
Well, I come from a big lacrosse family, so it's always been like, I really didn't have a choice. My dad was just like, here's a stick, like, and then I like got into it, and I started doing like little camps, like sports camps, like in kindergarten through like 3rd grade, and I started playing on my first like actual organized team. That's what I actually discovered that I really like lacrosse. And I started coaching this summer actually, because I feel like thinking about it now, like middle school, high school might be kind of like a little bit of a blur once you get to college, and it's just, I'm so thankful for that time because you learn the basics, and it's stuff that I'm still doing today. So yeah.
And then did you ever play travel or anything like that too when you were?
Yeah, I played for a local travel team based out of Watertown. So we went to a lot of tournaments throughout New York and everything.
Where did you like travel to? What's like the furthest place you ever had to travel to for lacrosse?
Maryland. I went to Maryland for a tournament with a team from Texas one time.
You had to go to Texas?
No, it was from a team that's based in Texas, but we went to Maryland.
Oh,
yeah.
What's your favorite place that you had to travel for lacrosse?
Honestly, like I liked going to like the ones in New York because like a lot of my family members could come and watch me play. So it's nice like having a crowd watching, like supporting you.
The Sarah Kamide fan club.
Oh my gosh.
So like where in New York did you travel to?
We did a lot of Rochester, some Albany, Lake Placid a few times, Syracuse. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to school in New York, so I was like, there's no better place to find school to go to than New York. So that's why I liked traveling around.
Did you have any other schools in mind, or did you always just have your heart like set on coming to Oswego?
Well, I actually had my heart set on like a private school.
Gasp.
But then like you get the bill.
Name drop. What schools?
St. John Fisher, Nazareth. I thought about Lemoyne for a little while. But you get the bill for those, and you're like, D3 doesn't get scholarships, so I was like, Oswego might be the place.
So goalie obviously isn't the easiest position. You're constantly just getting balls absolutely just like laser beamed at you.
Oh yeah.
All the time. So how did you decide that goalie was the position for you instead of like midi or attack or defense?
Honestly, you can probably attest to this because you're a women's lacrosse player back in your day.
Retired.
You pretty much go through a rotation. It's like, who wants to play goalie this week? And I was honestly the first to volunteer because, first of all, I don't like running. So I was like, if I can stay back there for like 60 minutes, I'd rather do that. So I got in, I started playing, and I was like, wow, I really like this. And I like that it's just like, it's me. Like, I'm in control of what happens. Like, it's like a mental mindset. Like, you can like change the course of a game just from your mindset, and I like being able to do that.
Yeah.
So
like, obviously, Oswego has their good games and their bad games, but like, how do you bounce back from a bad game?
Like I've said before, like, sports as you get older, you realize it's more of a mental mindset. It's more mental sometimes than it is physical. You can work out as much as you want to. You can take as many reps as you want with your stick, but till you get into that headset of like, yeah, there's going to be games where you might get crushed, but then there's games where you're going to dominate, and then there's games where you have to fight to the very end. And once you realize that it comes down to like you and your mind, and like you already have like the physical, like all the physical things you need, and just like after you get down, like you can come back. Like you can never go into a game thinking that you're just going to lose, because you're just going to lose every game.
You can't go in with that losing mentality for sure.
Exactly.
It is your sophomore year, as we said earlier, at Oswego. So what has been your favorite memory so far when you have been playing lacrosse here?
Honestly, well, my favorite lacrosse memory would probably be when we won our last SUNY conference game and made it to SUNYX this year. So that was our main goal, and we made it finally. Like, I didn't even care how far we got in SUNYX as long as we like made it, because not a lot of teams do that sometimes. But honestly, like, my favorite memory is just being with my team, especially because we just have fun together, because we're like a little family. So I love like hanging out with them, because it makes practice fun. It makes like locker room fun. It makes like weightlifting fun if we're all together.
And definitely. Do you guys have any like pregame like rituals as a team that you guys do in the locker room before you head out onto the field?
Well, personally, like I have to like take a minute to like zone in, put my headphones in, just like go out, do some wall ball by myself, like get in the zone. Then we all go into the locker room about an hour before the game. Everyone's like getting ready, doing their hair. Everyone's like hyping each other up, and we got music blasting, and that's the time where we really connect with each other, and it's like we're having fun now, and it's like as long as you're doing that, it's going to translate to what you do on the field.
So I've done live sports for lacrosse, and my favorite part of your guys' games is your warm-up playlist. So I have to know, what is your favorite song that you listen to before you guys start a game? This is
Actually,
an important one.
This isn't on our locker room. This isn't on our warm-up playlist, but I'm a Bee. It's kind of our song. Oh yeah, it's always blasting in the locker room. That's the song we listen to before we go out, and it just gets everyone hyped.
That is so funny.
Really random.
No, I love it. Honestly, I love that. Well, don't go anywhere just yet. Sarah and I will be back right after this short break.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to On Deck. Sarah, I know that you traveled all the way to Maryland this past summer to go to the Women's National Lacrosse Tournament. What was that whole atmosphere like? Because watching it on TV, it seemed like a really awesome, energetic, intense environment, and I was just watching through the screen. You were there in person.
Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite lacrosse experiences I've ever had, because those women's lacrosse definitely doesn't get enough recognition, and people don't realize how I feel like great of a sport it is till you're watching it live, because I feel like watching any sport live is so different than just, watching it on your TV, like actually seeing it in person. And it's just, they're the best of the best playing against each other. So you don't get to see that every day. And I just have like certain players on the team that I really love. And it's just being in, like it was at John Hopkins Field. So it's like a beautiful campus, like one of the oldest campuses in America. So it was nice being there and like watching on their actual lacrosse field. So it was just.
Yeah, and then the national championship was the Tar Heels and Boston College.
Oh,
two
yeah.
really, really great teams.
Like two of my favorite teams.
Two of your favorite teams.
Yeah.
Who, out of all the players, who was your favorite one on the field that day?
Well, obviously, like Charlotte North is pretty crazy. Like it was crazy watching her actually play. Like
she's crazy
in person. It's insane.
She has like completely changed the game of lacrosse for women.
There's not many players that come around like her. She's
No.
like once in a probably generation lacrosse player. So it was crazy to watch her play live.
Just watching her, she's so dominant on the field.
Yeah.
And her strength is crazy. Like
It's insane.
You watch her take shots from like the 12.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how does somebody have the arm power to?
Yeah, like I normally don't get scared of shots, but I don't know how I would take one of her shots.
If Charlotte North had to shoot on you, what would you do in that situation? Do you think you could take her on, or?
I don't know. I think it'd take all my willpower to stay in the goal.
Her shots come in
Yeah,
hot.
for sure.
But I know at the lacrosse game, and don't mean to put you on blast,
Oh my gosh.
but Sarah got a really bad sunburn.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
At the national championship game.
It was like a little second-degree burn, but it's fine.
Second-degree burn.
It was worth it.
It was worth it?
It was worth it. I think it was worth it.
Second-degree burn was worth being in the presence of the one and only Charlotte North.
Of course.
We love Charlotte North.
We do. Even as a goalie, I love some offensive players.
There's so many like female athletes in the world, lacrosse, tennis, basketball, all of these people. If you could pick one person, one female athlete who inspires you, who would you pick?
That's a really tough question. I have a lot of like really great female athletes in my family that they're pretty much inspired me to start playing lacrosse. But I would have to say pretty much like any D3 women's athlete, because we're here because we like genuinely love the sport. Like we're not getting a sports scholarship. We're like, it's a privilege for us to be here, but it's also we put in everything because we just love the sport. And that's always been my goal, to get to college. And like now I'm here and I have so many like female athlete friends, and it's just crazy having that bond with them. And like the fact that they keep going and are here because they love the sport. It's just like makes me love it more too.
Just watching you guys, because I've gone to your guys' game, and just watching how you guys put it all on the field, like every single time is so amazing. Like you and all your teammates, like you guys all fascinate me, how hard you guys work all the time dedication, the perseverance and the dedication that you guys have is honestly like really amazing. And the fact that you can balance it is even more amazing.
Well, like I said, you're putting in like 3 to 5 hours a day, like over 20 hours a week, just because you love it. Like what we're getting out of it is like the experience.
Yeah.
There's D1 athletes that are getting like full ride scholarships to play.
Yeah, are there ever like times when you have doubted it and been like, maybe, this is really difficult keeping up with all of this, maybe it's, or how do you like go around all of that?
Well, definitely last year was tough because I was the only goalie on the team. So I took, like, every shot was like my shot, and it was a lot. It's like I said before, it's all mental. But like once you get past that and you realize, oh, shake that goal off and just focus on the next one. And that's like for any position, like shake off that bad shot.
Yeah.
And then you just get over it.
Is there anything you do during the games when you just feel like you need to regroup yourself, but you don't have that time to take a timeout, or it's not halftime, but you just got to do it while you're in the cage?
Well, after I get scored on, I normally like turn around, like tap the top of my post. You probably see me hit it a lot.
Yeah.
I do that, and I just kind of like take a minute to myself. Like every shot's a new shot. It's not going to be like a repeat shot. So you have the power to like change what happens for the rest of the game, and that's a crazy feeling. That's why I love being a goalie, because like you have the power to kind of control the game a little bit.
Yeah. And is there any like good piece of advice that your coach has told you that's like really shifted your game around a little bit?
It's just take the pressure off yourself. Like no one's expecting the world from you. It's like just do the best you can. Like, and it's just like shake off the bad goals and like get the good ones. So.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, that is so awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
This has been so much fun. And thank you guys all for tuning in to the first ever episode of On Deck. You can catch us again next Monday. Not next Monday. You can catch us again, not next Monday, but the Monday after that, right here on WTOP. Have a fantastic night.